I'm Margaret in Windsor, and I don't know if this is getting up, but these are bedbug bites, and I'm on YouTube and Facebook. I was kidnapped in 41, brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given another name. Now, all this has been put up, and I've deliberately kept homeless, and I want to mention something. I wrote about mind control book before I found out about being kidnapped. I wrote about it in '78 when Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia. He later flew me out to his home and did an endorsement in Hustler in April of '84 and said I know who was responsible for his shooting. So my kidnapping and all this is a part of it. And psychological warfare and everything used on me, and I can't get an apartment or I'm kept homeless. And this has happened to me, the bed bugs, and make a point, and I've had letters and I've put them up on Facebook. When I had to move yesterday after 5 months of living in a motel and the bed bugs infection and everything, I moved, and I called back to a woman on Corporate Suites that they've become quite wealthy too. Her name is Debbie McKay, and I had a letter given to me, and I'm going to make a point of this. This is in April of 2012. I had gone to rent there, and I had rented before, but to make it short, she ended up renting me a studio, and then she brought me up to her office I stayed there about a couple of months, and she turned her computer around on her desk, and her daughter's picture was on it in her prom dress, and she said, I'm not going to let happen to my daughter what happened to Alexis Murphy. Alexis Murphy was a mind control murder, and they still haven't found her body. But I was made move for no other reason than that. And yesterday when I had to leave again, after all these years of moving around, I called back over there to see maybe she was gone or whatever. And it didn't hit me. It was still her when I called them. And she said it was Debbie. She's the manager. And she said, well, she didn't have an apartment, but she referred me to one of the others on Lansford. I didn't tell her my name. Well, I did. I said, I guess I did, Peggy Childers. Or maybe she just knew because I mentioned about being allergic to toxic fumes. So I called the one she referred me to, who was Jessica, was manager. And she seemed real nice, and I told her, I said, well, I I told her that I'd been referred by Debbie over there. And she had an empty one, and she said, well, yeah, I'll rent it to you, and you don't have to worry about real heavy toxic fumes or anything. We'll work with you, and we don't do that here. So she rented it to me, but then I got off the phone, and I thought, no, they'd gone up, and I thought that's too expensive for me. And I started to call her back, and instead she was calling me, and she said, well, I just got a call from Debbie that she has rented this, so I no longer have it. So Debbie McKay, I'm using her as an example. Her daughter is probably still alive, and she still got her job, and they can block me and keep me homeless when they should be locked up. My point of telling about the mind control murders and about me, but the mind control murders was because I cared. And I found out the very people that I tried to help didn't care about me.